Chapter 7 Assembling. I bet no one would mistake me for an earth god if I were here in one piece, she said thoughtfully. Ming laughed. Yeah, and if I grew wings, I could fly to Zion to find my Baba. She arched an eyebrow. What do you mean? I mean it's easier said than done. Is there anywhere you can put me together? Ming looked around the crowded room and thought for a moment. On my Baba's bed, I guess. Then please take all of my parts to the bed and put them in their proper places. Ming didn't know what she was planning, but so far he had been full of surprises. He carried the head into the bedroom, which was half the size of the front room. Empty pickle jars, chipped bowls, broken mugs, and mismatched chopsticks covered with the rough-hewn table that had never seen a coat of varnish. It stood between the two beds, which were set against opposite walls. A map of Lee County covered the entire wall over the bigger bed. Above the smaller bed, Ming had hung a poster of a tiger. Its yellow eyes glowed with cold light, and its scarlet tongue was wet with blood. A young muscular man with broad shoulders straddled the tiger. His fist was in the air, and his eyes sparkled. Beneath the tiger, a slogan read, "All counter-revolutionaries are paper tigers." In smaller characters, it said, "All capitalist countries, like America, are paper tigers. Threats without substance." Ming set the head on the bigger bed and went back to the front room. He loaded the broken body parts into a bamboo basket and dragged it into the bedroom. The head watched him quizzically, but Ming was too hungry to talk, so he avoided eye contact. It took him 3 trips to gather all the pieces. After unloading them beside the bed, Ming fetched a small brown ceramic jar from the table. "What's that?" asked she curiously. "Homemade rice glue," Ming said, holding up the jar. "Father uses it to repair broken pots and vases. I'm not sure it will work on you, but it's all I have." He removed the lid and looked inside. "Not much left. If I had some rice, I could make more." The head barked out laughter. "Even if your rice glue worked, you would need a whole bucket just for my legs. How do you imagine I'm going to move if I'm glued together?" Ming glared at the head defensively. "Well then, what do you want me to use? My spit?" "Arrange me on the bed," instructed she. "Make sure I'm aligned correctly." Ming struggled to drag the heavy limbs onto the bed, scraping them across the wooden frame. He positioned them as best as he could. Ming set the head flush against the neck. He took a step back to survey his work. Suddenly, a bright light blinded him, and the house began to shake. One of the wooden bowls rattled and bounced so much that it fell off the table and hit the floor with a hollow clatter. Ming stood frozen, shielding his eyes. "You idiot!" She's voice was shrill with pain. "You mixed up my legs. Quick, quick, switch them now." Squinting against the light, Ming could see that she was trembling violently. Holding his breath, he forced himself to move to the foot of the shaking bed. He reached over, grabbed hold of She's legs, and dragged them away from his torso. Suddenly, the light dimmed and the thrashing lessened. Ming rolled the leg closer to him over the other. With a pop, they jammed back into position on She's torso. Ming stepped back, ready to run in case the clay soldier exploded or thrashed around again. But the quivering stopped and the light faded. To Ming's surprise, She sat up, looked around, and stretched luxuriously. Much better. She swung around and carefully put his feet down on the ground. Slowly, he stood up. Mouth agape, Ming tracked the soldier's movements. Upright, She was a full head taller than Ming. A plated armor vest covered his upper torso, leaving his arms and legs covered only by what appeared to be a gown. She swung his arms about. Bits of fine brown dust floated down around him, leaving a thin layer on the floor. Ah, he sighed with satisfaction. Everything seems to be working well. Old Tien did a good job. You see this mark on my neck? He pointed to the character. It is my sculptor's signature. As long as it is intact, I can be reassembled like new, even if I am in pieces. Why did you need my help then? She flexed his fingers experimentally. Because I cannot move my detached parts. Ming moved back a few steps and gazed admiringly at the large terracotta soldier. You look very impressive. Thank you. Believe it or not, I used to be even more handsome. Ming raised an eyebrow skeptically. Tien decorated me with lacquer paints made from colorful minerals and egg whites. Egg whites? Ming's stomach gurgled. It thickened the paint and protected me from moisture so my color would last for eternity. Well, apparently it didn't work, or did he run out of every color but gray? I have been around a long time, she blustered. Much has happened.